This is Project 2. I am doing Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, with comparing it and contrasting it with Campbell's hero's journey. I am looking at specifically Edward Elric as the character to follow with his hero's arc. There's a couple things that I think fit very well with the hero's journey and the story, especially with how the hero's journey lines up, and then there's some things that I don't know where to put them, or if they belong there, or if it's just a really cool thought experiment on if it applies or not, just because of how the story ran. With Fullmetal Alchemist, Alphonse has his call to adventure is very interesting to me, because is his call to alchemy, or is his call to being a state alchemist? Because depending on which one is his call, and his call to adventure, which I'm still not sure or compelled that one way or the other, because I think even with his call to being one, without one there can't be the other, because he becomes an alchemist because he loses his father leaves, and he loses his mother, she dies, and his brother Alphonse and Edward decide that they are going to take it upon themselves to commit the ultimate taboo in alchemy, but try to resurrect their mother that they lost. And in this journey of being young boys and becoming alchemists, and then doing the greatest taboo, Alphonse loses his body but is able to keep his soul, and he walks around in a full metal suit, whereas Alphonse in this part loses an arm with everything. So it's just very arm, I think, it's just very interesting to see, like, is the call to adventure for Edward his mother dying and him feeling like he needs to bring her back, getting really good at alchemy, doing the best he can, and striving for that? Or is his call, when he finally is approached to become a state alchemist and is given these resources to do better and bigger things and continue on the practice of alchemy, trying to advance it as far as he can? So that's very interesting to me. When it's meeting a mentor, I'm conflicted, because I think he has multiple mentors depending on where he is as a character along the line. So he doesn't have one, that is what it seems like Campbell specifies. Like, there's one main mentor. I think Edward has multiple mentors, and is kind of seeking out people like-minded the entire time, but has people feeding into his desire to do better, but also holding him accountable, which is so important. What does meet up really well is Edward's journey when it comes to tests, allies, enemies, because he meets multiple tests and multiple allies, all that, and that's how he continually beats the enemies, because he has tests, he faces tests, he's able to overcome it, he has a new ally, the ally and him come together, they're able to overcome the next enemy that they face, and he does that repetitively throughout the entire story. So I think that line matches perfectly with it. I think the fail is he never does have somebody, a woman, come in and try to seduce him away from it. That's never an option. He does have at one point being told to, now is your time to flee, if you're going to run away, but of course he, as being the hero, denies it. But that's the closest it comes. So I think there's a failure complete there. The reward that he brings to society and the elixir, I don't really know if it fits at all. He does bring peace by getting rid of a villain that was taking and feeding off of the people, which I think is absolutely a conclusion, but I don't know if it necessarily fits the guidelines or what Campbell has written for that specifically. Interesting thing, as I was really looking at this, and with Alphonse, I was almost conflicted and almost went with Alphonse as having a hero's journey, because Alphonse in his own right has absolutely every wicket that his brother has as well, of having the enemies, facing them, having challenges, facing them, overcoming them, having inner conflict, having mentors. So it's very interesting that the Fullmetal Alchemist has two hero's journeys simultaneously going the entire time. So it's just very interesting to figure out how that would fit into this framework that Campbell's hero's journey is, because there is no supporting character from either one of them, though at times he might be more of a supporting role as Alphonse. He himself, in every aspect, hits so many of the wickets of a hero's journey. So it's interesting to see a story with two heroes and not just one.